Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Ziede, but if that's hard to pronounce, you can just call me FTZ. I'm an automotive facilitator, trainer, keynote speaker, now author, and I've been in the industry of people for 25 years now. I am coming out with a book, and it's this thing right here. And today, May 28th, is the launch of The Lost Art of Giving a Shit, something I wrote during COVID because my job disappeared for 2 years, which was just talking with people. And then I met people who helped further that thing. And then I met a publisher, and now the book is coming out. So because we're here today, we got a big launch event tonight. Insert cool launch footage right here. We're here ahead of time with a couple of what I call change agents, which are people that have had an influence on my life, who are in the industry of people all the time. And I wanted to get their thoughts on the book and just share their awesomeness as well. So let's do that right now. This, again, is the limited edition Lost Art of Giving a Shit podcast. Only one episode for now. So there we go. On my right is Steven Shedletzky, a.k.a. Shed. He is an author of the book Speak Up Culture. He is a keynote speaker. He is a trainer and facilitator and educator of humans. He is the former chief of staff for Simon Sinek and the head of talent acquisition for them for a long time. Still teaches for Sinek, but now he's off and running with his book Speak Up Culture and doing keynotes and talks about finding a way to make it truly safe to speak up and truly worth it. And how are you?
Good, great, awesome.
Was that good?
How was that? Good, great, and awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great to be here with one of one.
That's right.
Of The Lost Art of Giving a Shit.
The one-off.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about how this book came into fruition, and you're a crucial factor in that. And then to his right, that's also my right, is Tina Frey. And Tina Frey is the head of BMW talent acquisition and people over there for...
So close.
Am I close?
No.
Well, how much was it?
Just
The
add
people,
an
head of
there.
people?
Like people adjacent.
People
I think is
adjacent.
What,
at BMW, but she's also a wizard at facilitation. She's been a mentor and trainer and leader of mine for a long time, but she's also been my boss, my client with BMW and Mini, which is the brand I started training with back in 2002. Shout out to Heike Knors, who is no longer with the brand. But not long after, Tina took over, and she came in, and she was this spitfire of New Yorker, hard charger, and she was like, you follow me, and I will take you to the promised land of facilitation. And I was lucky enough to do that. And
his memory is...
Yeah, and she's also the author of the book, The Art of Facilitation. Communicate in a way that people listen.
Sure.
No, it's close.
I mean, really.
I'm like
so
90% on that. So, hi, Tina, how are you?
I am chilling like a villain. I'm so happy to be here.
Any corrections or edits you want to add in now?
And I say we wait till post.
Okay.
We'll just do it all in post.
Yeah,
It's
Shelby
totally
will hook
fine.
that up.
It's totally fine. I would just like to ask a question. Do you think FTZ is easier than saying Frank Ziede? I'm just curious to know.
I don't know. I think I'm trying to echo Shed's awesomeness by just going by Shed. But I've always signed everything FTZ, and I sign emails FTZ. And now they sort of rhyme, T and Z, and now you've got me second guessing all of my life decisions.
And thanks for having me.
I was going to shave
Yeah.
Shed into the front of my head, but then I lost my hair. So
I'm with you.
yeah.
I'm with you. So, I have so many stories that I want to tell about all of you in many different ways, but chime in anywhere along the way here. This is incredibly informal. We're just here before the big launch tonight. But this is the book. It's The Lost Art of Giving a Shit, Why Caring About Customers Pays Off. Let's just dive in and start talking about a conversation or a question there, which is both of you are in the people business. You're on the inside corporately.
Currently.
You're
yes.
on the outside. And that's what I love about this, that you're both change agents from either inside the castle or outside the castle. And taking the book around to people. And before I even had the book, they would say, hey, what's the name of your book? And I said, it's The Lost Art of Giving a Shit. I have multiple leaders of people stop and go, yes, that's exactly what I need. I need that thing.
Was
Why
that
can't
you?
I?
Did you say yes? Were you one of those people?
Yeah.
You said yeah.
But like, why
Same.
can't I get my employees to care more? And then I said to you, I said, well, no, first of all, you as the leader need to care more, and maybe they will next. But the reaction was, it took me back several moments. I was like, wow, evidently the the name is locking in, good for a book title. But my question to both of you, and either of you can chime in here, is why? Why is it resonating so much? Is there just so many people out there that don't give a shit anymore? Or is it that it's hard to give a shit inside a corporate structure and in business? Thoughts?
I feel like this is the worst question ever. And little spoiler alert. And I mean, Frank, you said that this was going to be a question that you asked us, right? So I thought, oh, this is such an easy. We live in this space. We can. We'll just. It is the hardest question. So I started to ask it to everyone. And this is a month. I think a month ago you told me this, right?
Yeah.
Including Charles, the Uber driver who brought me here today.
Fantastic.
Fabulous. And you know what he said? The same. He goes, that is a hard question to answer. So on the plane, I was mulling. And I said, well, what's my answer? Because, I'm, have you ever not given a shit? Has there ever been a right?
Oh, yeah.
But look how fast you answer that. Everybody's experienced a moment when we didn't care, where we didn't do the extra, however you interpret not giving a shit right now, right?
Yeah.
So, and you can go to hell because you made me go inside and go to, right? On the plane, on the way, it finally just clicked with me because I thought about it from a leadership perspective.
Yes.
When did folks on my team, or as we're consulting, when you see leaders, when their team, when do they stop caring? And the answer that I came up with, at least for me, it's when I didn't give them a reason to. And it's not, I absolutely believe in my heart, a leader's job is not to make people happy. A leader's job is to create an environment where people can choose to be happy, choose to be engaged, right? It all comes down to choice. And it was the times that I was white knuckling my way through the day. And I was so target driven. Oh my God. I just had like a cortisol release when I said that out loud. That even if I would say things are great and I'm so proud of what you're doing, they could smell it on you, right? And and so the incongruency of behavior affected people. And they just went, why would I care? Yeah. This is how we're being treated, right? So it all comes down to, my opinion, it's a choice. People stop caring because they choose, and it's easier, right? It's just easier to not care. Why should I care anymore if this is just what I'm going to get, right?
Yeah.
But it really made me go and kind of put the finger back in my face and say, when did you stop caring? It's when, again, I have to look in times in my life when I wasn't being led in such a way that made me feel, not their job. I recognize that. Yeah. But I didn't have a reason to.
So shout out to the publisher, Page 2, and Jesse and Natasha, Natasia, Nat, as we call her, and E, my publisher. They kept grilling me, who's the book for? Who's the book for? And I'm like, people. And they're like, no. Yeah. And I hated that I had to admit that it was for leaders. Because I train people all day. I love training employees. It's harder to train leaders. There's less of them, so it's less training days, right? There's a ton of employees. The employees are eating it up, but there's constantly this moment where they look at me and they go, this is all great and everything, and I definitely give a shit. But if my leader doesn't, right, or they don't want to do these changes or things, then what's it all for? Right. And so I had to admit, yes, this book is first and foremost for leaders.
Why was that? Why didn't you want to admit that?
I think because that's a good question. I feel like they have all the excuses in the world not to do it. The quarterly report, the metrics, the numbers.
The pressure.
Choice.
I think that's why I leaned into people matter most as my personal mantra. I don't have a tattoo. If I do, I'm probably going to get that one. Because it's like, yes, we have to do these things and sell these widgets and do that and fix the air conditioning and fix the plumbings of these buildings and all those things. But who lives in that building? A person. Who works in that building with the AC? A person. Like, customer experience is not a buzzword. People matter most. And if you start to think that way, and I think a lot of ground level employees do, but I think a lot of leaders are like, I don't have the luxury of thinking about that. I have to think about the expenses and the profit margins and all those things. So you're spot on that there's a lot of accountability on the leader side first. Thoughts?
I got a few things to say.
Please.
One, I appreciate using the castle analogy of, at present, Tina's in the castle, I'm out of the castle. It makes me think of a moat.
Oh, yeah.
I've been inside of a castle, and there was a moat I had to cross to get the heck out of there.
Sure.
Now that I primarily do client service work, there are some moats where I'm like, do I want to travel that one? You know, and others where I'm like, happily will travel that one because there's great, humble leaders who strive to bring, you know, people first, purpose first, healthy leadership and culture to life. So that's one. Just thanks for the moat analogy.
Yeah.
The other is, so there's, you and I have spoken about, I'm sure we've all spoken about, I like the distinction between uppercase L and lowercase L leaders.
Yep.
So there's something really awesome about the ability to train employees who aren't necessarily in leadership roles. A lot of the work I do are with more senior leaders. And it's like trying to teach someone how to change their golf swing after they've been golfing for 25 years.
Google the Charles Barkley golf swing video right now. Pause the pod, this pod thing, whatever, this pod talk, and go Google Charles Barkley's golf swing, and you'll know what he's talking about.
Yeah, you're welcome, and we'll see you never again.
Yeah, exactly.
Rabbit hole. ADD, thank you. So many of the training I do are with our leaders who are so well seasoned that it's hard to unseason them and season them differently. It's still possible to help them change, but it takes a lot. So there's something beautiful around, there's uppercase L leaders, which are leaders who have a title of leadership. We expect them to lead, but just because they have the title doesn't mean that they do. But there are a lot of lowercase L leaders that you work with, folks who maybe they're manager, maybe they're director, maybe they're VP, but oftentimes they're an individual contributor or an individual leader. They still lead relationships and work with client relationships.
Yeah.
But they can behave as a leader does and have influence. So that's just like a cool opportunity. To like answer your question head on. One, good old Zig Ziglar, people don't buy drills, they buy holes. And you're marketing a hole. You're marketing the thing that everyone wants. I want to give more shits. I want my people to give more shits. I want my vendors and my customers. But the funny thing is it's like Kaizen and continuous improvement works because it markets the inputs. Lean doesn't work because it markets the outcome.
Okay.
Which means we are bastardizing all the inputs and the processes that get us Kaizen or continuous improvement. That includes people and purpose and putting people and purpose first. And so I'm glad that you've articulated a book title that's attracting people. Bingo. Great. But the true test, if you really want to bring this to life, you're speaking to this and you're speaking to this, is you, reader, listener, you must first bring this to life from the inside out of you, yourself, your life, your career, your business. I now run my own business. So if my people aren't caring, I got to look in the mirror. Got to look in the mirror. What have I done? What's a decision I've made? How am I behaving in a way that's creating this? And so it's all inside out stuff. It's all inside out of our organizations, inside out of our teams, inside out of our own being. There's just what comes to mind for me.
There's a story in the graphic. There's a picture of a pool, and the first story in the book is this pool story where it's me and one of my best friends in high school, Simon, and we are hanging out. We're young teenagers hanging out around this pool, and we get into this brutally vicious argument about, I believe the world is black and white. And Simon's like, no, the world is nothing but shades of gray. And it came to blows. Like we were pushing each other in the pool and yelling at each other and calling each other assholes. And
how old were you? 37?
I mean, I got to be like 14, 15. And Simon is an incredibly intelligent person, now like codes for Google and different things in San Francisco. And
so he tells you.
He does. No. But he was wise beyond his years at that time. And I needed the very clear, easy to understand, good is good, wrong is wrong, right is right. You know, this is the easy way to think about it. And I think the gist of that story with the pool is it's like, yes, take in all the shades of gray, understand all the nuance in life. But to your point, there comes this point where you either have to jump in the pool or don't, right? And it's back to choice. It's this quote, the water is not going to get any warmer the longer you wait. If you want to get in, get in. And that's why, like, at the end of that first chapter in the book, it's like, okay, signed your name on the line that is dotted in this book. It's like, take a choice. And I had this guy, Chris, who's making this video for tonight's thing. He was reading it while he was working the video. He sent me a picture of the page in the printed advance copy that he signed in it. And he was like, I'm in.
Nice.
Right. And so there's like this small, but, not
meaningful.
Yeah. But still small gesture. And then I know there's going to be some people who read past that and don't do it. And then the second chapter is, if you don't give a shit, you might want to figure out why. Mm-hmm. And I talk about trauma. I just did a great lunch and learn with a team from Volvo, from their executive team. And they bought the copies of the book and they gave it out to people ahead of time. And their number one question to me was, why can't I give people to give as much shit as I do? And they're talking about, they're going out into dealers and the people that they're trying to train and serve as area regional staff. It's like this company doesn't even care as much as I do, and I'm trying to help this company. And my answer was a blunt one, and it went over like a lead balloon at the beginning, but then I got comments later, and like people messaged me, and they actually just like called me about a thing in Vegas, and they're like, come talk about your book. I was like, okay, evidently it worked. I said, they're like, why can't I give people to give as much a shit as I do? And I was like, that's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my response is, do you give a shit about them?
Yeah. It's not how it works.
Ding, 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 ding. Right.
It's like this selfless thing that's just like, I'm going to give a shit about what I do, and I'm not going to do it with some want of return from anybody else. And I think that when that's genuine and authentic, everybody steps back and goes, that's inspiration I can follow.
It's the incongruency of the message, right? It's the
I will ask, but I will not give.
Yes. And the people can smell incongruency through a wall, right? And if you could say, I care about my customers all day, but if you're treating me, if you're stealing my ideas, if you are being disrespectful in front of other people, if all of these things, right? Then it's just sorry, I'm starting to get emotional about it.
But it's an incongruence. It's a say-do gap.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
Quick story for you. Do you remember when we went to a Mini Takes the States event here in Chicago?
Say more words.
Big tent. It was the first night, and then the second day was this drive event. And if you don't know, I love my Mini. I have a Mini Cooper S 2006. I've trained for the brand for a long time. Shout out to everyone at Mini. They are amazing. You should go buy a Mini. They're fantastic. And I am not paid or compensated for that statement.
I'll be right back.
Yep. But this was early on when I was working for the brand, and they're a big part of the book launch tonight because they're, I think, working for that brand proved to me like, oh, this is a brand that gives a shit. So I loved working for this brand. Anyways, we were at this Mini Takes the States event. Me, you, Adam Yost, Dustin Krause. Adam, you'll see tonight.
Okay.
And we had this big blow up movie screen, and we were showing a movie about gambling. I think it was called 21. And everyone was supposed to bring out like a drive-in movie theater, bring out their chairs and bring out the things. Do you remember what I'm talking about now?
Keep going. Yeah.
And the projection was terrible and the audio was terrible. And so this guy was at the back of this big crowd. Granted, he was at the back. That's probably his fault. But he gets angry and he gets up and he's got his chair and he's stomping out. And I was just like, this is not Mini. And I walk over and I was like, sir, I'm so sorry. Well, is there any way I can help? And he's like, well, this is ridiculous. I can't even hear that movie over there. And this is when I knew that I truly gave a shit. And I was like, all right, how about this? You're going to be at the drive event tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, I will buy the DVD of this movie and I will meet you tomorrow and I will give it to you. And he was like, sure you will. And so I did. And I got the DVD and I went to Best Buy and probably Circuit City back then. And I walked. And
for any millennial and Gen Z, a DVD.
DVD is.
Yeah.
And I went up to this guy, and I mean, I'm sure it was like, a $12 DVD, and I don't even know if he walked away going, that was right, that was good, that was a thing. But I just felt I knew it was the right thing to do.
You didn't even work for Mini. Just to be clear, I was responsible for that experience. I was working for Mini proper, corporate, and you were just the hired gun.
Yeah.
So just to put it into context, and
of how much give a shit you have.
Exactly.
Amen.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I will tell you this: you gave more shits than some of our corporate folks who were there, including myself, because I don't think I didn't know any of that was happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would have done anything like
Well,
that.
my reaction, what I remember is that I think you had the fear in that moment, which what many leaders would is, where's the scalability? And it's like, if we do this for this one guy, and there was 200
Did I
people
say
there.
that?
No,
Did I say- okay.
I think it's what
Did I have the look of fear in my?
I think. I think the look was there, but I think it's also something I've encountered now. Doing something special or going above and beyond, doing a give the shit moment. The leadership reaction is, what if the next customer wants the same thing? And I'm like, God forbid.
Yeah.
Right? God forbid you have another magical moment opportunity. And I said, but here's the thing you can relax is not every customer wants it.
Right.
They all don't. They all don't want the same thing the same way.
Yeah.
And so scalability is kryptonite to wow moments and giving you shit experiences. But that was something early on with you and I. That was pretty wild.
Part of that is your wiring too, just
Probably.
how you show up. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go for it.
You're
But
good.
go for it.
I'm just curious if that guy was actually a mini employee and is he still with the brand?
No,
No.
that was a customer. It was clearly,
customer.
these were all customers that had come, and it was an appreciation event called Mini Takes the States. And I felt so personally responsible because I love the brand so much, and I had a Mini at that time that I was like, no, don't go. We're amazing. This is awesome, right? And so who knows?
But I even think I know you love 11 Madison and
Yes.
and what's the name of his book?
Unreasonable Hospitality. Jinx.
Will Guidera.
Yes.
And is 11 Madison open still, the restaurant, or do they close? Or?
No, 11 Madison Park is open. He's not a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
He's gone on and made a world famous New York Times bestseller. Shout out to Will.
Yeah.
I've met him and talked with him, and he's just a generous person, generous spirit, and a massive inspiration.
But one side of the coin is the level of detail and listening and what they do at 11 Madison is not scalable. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. And though I've never been to that restaurant, I would go with like light expectations to see what would happen for me, but just this wonder of like, wow, I'm in like the Disney of restaurants. That's right. Like, what's going to happen?
Yep.
Like that to me is just the interesting part. It's less about the expectations of what they might do for me, but more, I want to be in this restaurant. I want to be at that event just to experience what moments of magic might happen around me.
And he's not there, so I don't know if it's still there.
Yeah.
I think he was the wiring, like you talked about.
So that's an interesting point. So if he leaves, did he was there the training there? Was the so I you mentioned something before too when your team isn't behaving in the way that they want. It's because we don't inspect what we expect. And I love that phrase. I think Ron Chatwin probably taught me that phrase, a mentor of ours. And we don't, yes, the incongruency piece is there, but are we actually saying out loud, this is what I expect you to do. This is why we're doing it. And this is paramount. This comes first.
And as well, is it lived for the team itself?
Tell me what you mean.
Well, this is everything that we're talking about. So if I work at 11 Madison Park and the expectation is we deliver wow, or they say it the way that they say it, but if, and I know the story that I know from that book is that you overhear, wow, we've done everything we wanted in our New York trip, except for one of those street meat vendor hot dogs. Right. And then boom, got it. Make it happen. Presentation, bada bing, bada boom. Wow. Right?
Yep.
In order for that expectation to be delivered upon consistently and at scale, and when Will or whoever else isn't there, because now he's not, is if it is lived on the inside. If are we having that same level of attunement and listening and compassion and deliver of wow for the very people on our team? That's the only way that I think it will be sustainable, scalable.
The fourth episode of The Bear. Please shout out to, I don't know. Have you seen The Bear?
Yeah, insert clip I just shot 20 minutes ago about the Forks episode.
The Forks episode, I've seen it 3 times to my daughter's at nauseum. And she's like, you're watching Forks again? And then we'll leave the room. And I don't know that we can.
I've now got buy mini, and watch.
You're running out of paper. Do you need my
I'm good
notebook?
for now.
It exemplifies what we are talking about.
Correct.
And the people who worked at this particular famous restaurant they bled not just the place, but the process and the culture. And what is culture? What's the equation?
For me, it's values
behavior.
times behavior to the power of influence.
And then the value system, I can't tell you how many companies when I was consulting that I would work with, again, the top leaders, and these are our values. These are our values, and they, and they were printed on the walls, and I know both of you have seen this 100 times. And again, here comes the incongruency piece, right? There was no expecting, there was no inspecting of what they were actually expecting. So just.
And part of the human experience is incongruency. It's just because we're fallible human beings.
Yes.
We can't taste the water that we swim in. But it's the humility of, do we also have the type of culture where, let's say I report to you, do we have the type of leader of relationship, even though you have more hierarchy or seniority than I do, to go, hey, Tina, can we have a hard conversation? And there was an incongruency. And as soon as you hear the word incongruency, you aren't triggered. You actually lean in and you go, tell me more. Oh my God, that's not how I wish to be experienced. Now, you may not agree. That's okay. We can rumble on it. Now, if others give you feedback on that too, that's called a pattern. Even if separated,
you might be the problem.
Even if I separated by a decade, if you get the same feedback twice, it's a pattern. And patterns are worth paying attention to. Like,
why do you keep looking at me as you're saying this over and over again?
It's just because it's a story.
I already had my epiphany on the plane. I have to do this again now.
But but it's just to call out that, like, we're not asking people to be perfect. That is an inhumane, unfair expectation. We are going to be incongruent because we are a fallible species, but do we have enough humility and striving? Like, I take pride in trying to be a good, effective parent. Do I nail it all the time? Heck to the no. I'm preaching to the choir here. It is, much like leadership, it's a really hard job. But am I committed to improving? Am I committed to getting really curious about how I can be better? Do I apologize to my 10 and 7-year-olds when I either experience or learn that I've behaved in a way that is less than optimal? That's the work. That's the work.
The accountability piece is so accountability. I see it on companies' value chart. Probably 70% of the time. And
it's right next to excellence, right?
And then right, and trust and
respect.
And respect, yes, that's it.
And customer first.
And then all of the things. And the it's so interesting. Now I feel like I have to tell all these backstories. So I was consulting with a small but incredibly profitable company out of New York City, and it was family owned. So father, couple of sons, and then family friends. Really interesting. And and it was a garment kind of a company. And again, very low, high mark. I mean, and I was working with the dad, and we'll call him John. That's not his name.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So, and
I prefer if you just did first name initial then last name. Would be better.
Sure. I'll do that. And again, we'll put that in the lower.
Don't do
third.
that. Everybody.
Check the show notes for
that's a legal quagmire.
The hypocrisy of the. We worked together for a long time, and I was in it, and we did all of the things, assessments, P&Ls, and it kept coming back around until I finally, eye to eye, said, "You need to fire me now," because I think you both know me well enough now. No holds barred. John, it's you.
Yeah.
John, it's you. I'm leaving out a lot of the sexy details, but it was fun. Yeah, but just go fix Roger because Roger's not doing that. I'm like, no. Roger is doing everything he can to meet the words that you are, but you are, he made, not Roger, we're going to call her Alice because that was her name.
Okay.
Cry. I mean, we're having these meetings. I'm watching people break down. They wanted so hard for this family business to work. And it was, right? Doesn't it make, both of you are crying on the inside a little bit right now. So I was going in a different direction, so I'm just going to stop because I'm sad.
It keeps coming back to that word leadership, like it truly does. And if it's a pyramid, not a multi-level marketing scheme, but it's like up at the top, it literally is. Like we could focus up there and be like, what's the problem? Where is it at? It's probably there, right? If there is a big issue, and like let's start with that. And and then like engaged leaders create engaged employees
What's
create
at the
engaged
top?
customers.
Is vulnerability at the top? Is it the accountability piece at the top?
My
Because
big word is
if
trust.
John had said trust is everything. Once you lose trust,
Yep.
Can you get it back? Yes. Does it take 15 times as long? And it takes consistency, right? All of the things? Yes. But using John as an example, I would watch him make a mistake and then not just look at and say, Shed, that's on me. I apologize for that.
Yeah.
And you can actually build trust when you mess up that way, as long as that isn't the default all the time.
Do you remember what we used to do? We would, you wouldn't do it because you were perfect at the end, but I would make mistakes in my PowerPoints and then do it on purpose and go, yeah, that's not how you spell my name at all. And it would just, you could feel the energy and the trust because you just looked and said, I apologize, gang. That is not how you spell Tina with
one of the
2
hardest
E's and a
things
Y.
as a facilitators I've ever done is take accountability for a mistake I made. Said something wrong, did something incorrect, or said like I think I was on a podcast one time and I was working for a high-end retail appliance brand, and I had a participant who was just cranky asshole and just was like barking at me every 5 seconds, trying to challenge everything. And I think I was talking about the sound of a dishwasher, and I was saying the decibel level. And I said, oh, well, this is one of the best in the industry. It's blank decibels. I was off probably by like 80%. And the guy's like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That is the wrong information. That is not the decibel level. And I was like, well, we have to go to lunch, transition to lunch. And it worked perfectly. But sure enough, I went and looked and I was completely wrong. And I came back and I said, hey, everybody, welcome back. Very first thing I have to do, Roger was right. I was completely wrong. I had the decibel level wrong. I added a 0. I was wrong. He's right. I just wanted to make that clear right off the bat.
Not 80. Yeah.
That's right. It's probably something along those lines. So
you do that with a passion now.
Well, but you have to break through it. Like you just break glass in case of emergency, and then the other side of it, you're like, okay, now I understand. There's value in it in doing it.
Yeah. I know we're nearing time, but I have a funny story with this as well.
Please.
And we can either use it or not. But so I was in New York. This was years ago. I was invited to do a workshop for a group of, I'll call them like vice president rabbis.
Okay.
So they were like second in command rabbis, and they all wanted to be CEO rabbis.
Okay.
They all wanted the like big head rabbi job, but it's very hard to move up vertically in one congregation because oftentimes you have people who are in those roles for a long time. And so sometimes the only way to make a lateral move is to jump horizontally. And so there was this one VP rabbi who told a story. He's like, I have to. He said, I was interviewing for a head rabbi job for a particular congregation. I won't say who. I don't remember who. And he said, I do what any one of us would do when we get an opportunity to interview at a new job. We go to the website, about us, values, inclusivity, belonging, respect, human dignity, all are welcome. He's
research, baby.
He's like, yeah, this is my place. He's invited as part of the interview process to go to one of their board meetings. And he takes a random seat, doesn't know anyone.
Yep.
No one really comes over to welcome him. And the meeting's about to start, and the head of the board comes over, stands over top of him and says, you're in my seat. Move.
Wow.
Like, get up. And he went, okay. And he went, there is such an incongruency between who you claim you wish to be and who you are that I will not accept this job. So just an interesting.
How lucky.
This even works in the clergy space, this stuff. So anyway.
And it was inside of her castle. There are lateral moves and to go up moves and all those things.
Education system. You're basically the Catholic Church, same exact thing. That you're right. It's so interesting because that is that story can work everywhere.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
I think that as we bring this to a close, never thought we'd talk about the CEO rabbis. The concept I'd like to put on the table here is,
by the way, I knew we would.
Okay, is the key thing we keep coming back to is communication, and so it's I got to be a leader. I got to know my team. I got to have accountability and congruence in our message. How do I know it's working or not? How do I communicate all those things? And chapter 4 in the book, which is available on Amazon and Walmart and Barnes and Nobles today, is
by now.
Yeah, the Give a Shit Toolkit. And it's the power of communication, which is preface everything, open it up, wonder why, engage your brain, and recap it all. And these are skill sets that I learned through the process of facilitation for 25 years. I just want to have the two of you share a little bit about that, and then I'll end with a story on how those verbal communication tools, drilling down on what someone said, paraphrasing back what you just heard them say, actively taking notes. What is the value in that, in this whole concept of being a leader who practices what they preach and truly gives a shit about their people?
I mean, so I do this so that I don't get lost in my own ADD-ness. So I just like remember what and it's a tool for me as well to listen better. You're making me think of my friend Zach Mercurio's work on the power of mattering.
Love Zach.
And Zach talks about how everyone needs to know that they are noticed, that they're affirmed, and that they're needed. And I think, again, that's a series of inputs that gets you people giving a shit as an outcome. The input is making people know that they matter, making people know that their work matters, and then they'll give a shit.
Love it.
Yeah.
What he said. I mean, how do I top that? When you asked the question, I went back in time when we were babies and when we were facilitating together in the very beginning, right? And the art of creatively listening takes work, and I know that you're going to agree with it. The biggest tool for me in the pile of communication tools is the art of the question back, right? When somebody asks a question, they tell me more about that, or what do you think that, help me understand, whatever it is, because it just,
or I heard this, what did you mean by that?
Or what do you think the answer is, for just to again, steal from you, just proves that you care, because I'm really trying to understand. I'm proving to you that I want to know exactly what you mean before I answer, or I keep, or whatever the thing is. And it's, I'm so thankful that I experienced the ahas in the room to prove to me
that
how good that felt.
Yeah.
Caring is selfish, by the way. I mean, it's a very, people, oh, it's so selfless. No, I'm getting something out of it. And when
it's called oxytocin and serotonin from a neurochemical point.
All of it's happening right now, gentlemen. Oh my God.
And there's more oxytocin.
Yeah, there's more coming later tonight. But so that was a long-winded way of saying that it affects me.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying is, I think it's the skin in the game of what it means to be a human being, is really what you're saying.
Again, what he said.
Yeah.
Why you have me here? Just
so to wrap, that's my story for you.
Wherever you go,
and then I'll give a quick story to you. My story was like that. I learned those tools from you, from Rick, from Dave, from Hunter. These are all people in this world of facilitation, these masters of their trade, that, women and men who've like shaped me into who I am. I remember when writing the book, I thought I had to have some big epiphany and some big magical thing that would be the reason why people buy the book. And I was like, oh shit, no, I just have to use the same stuff that's been around for 3,000 years and I have to frame it in a way that's marketable, and then just remind people of how important the simplest of these things are. But I had to have what I would call, it's right there on the thing, the click, the switch, the moment of click. And I've had many, but one moment of click was me and you, Scottsdale Marriott, and you're in the back of the room auditing a class, 3-day mini class. And she makes me nervous in that sense, right? So I'm up there facilitating, trying to do these things. I get to the end of a module. I was like, whew, 75 minutes, got to the end. It didn't screw up, right? So we get to the end and somebody has a question. And I was like, that's a great question. Here's the answer. And I was like, yes, I'm accomplished. And I look in the back of the room and she's like, and I was like, what am I doing wrong?
We remember this differently. I'm going to I don't know that I did that.
She was like, she brought me over and she was like, my version of it in my head is like, if you answer another question, I will choke you. And it was,
no, I said one thing. What did I say?
Remind me, please.
I walked up to you and I said, you're working too hard.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you went, what are you talking about? I'm the great.
Yeah.
And you had laryngitis at the end of that. My memory is bad, but that I remember like it was yesterday, because you are phenomenal at what you do.
Thanks.
Then you were really good. And then when you, kind of embrace that. And I think you even fought me a little bit. Like, what are you out of your mind?
Well,
Why
because
would I not answer
I
the
think
question?
a lot of people in a leadership position, because that's what we are as facilitators and meeting leaders, I was like, I'm getting paid because of my level of expertise and knowledge, and you're not. Facilitators get paid on your level of concern or care, and you involve the audience and the participants. And I remember you were like, "Is the next question you get, you're not allowed to answer it."
Volley.
And I went up there and I was like, "That's a great question." And now every time it happens, it's this unconscious, because the moment a click went off, and I'm like, you know what? That's a fantastic question. But there are 75 of you in this room, and there's one of me. I guarantee you're smarter than me. So who's got a thought on what that person just asked?
Well, it's also, so if you look at the meaning of the word facilitation, or facile, which is the French word for easy.
Ooh.
So a facilitator is a guide. A facilitator is supposed to make things easier and to help people learn. And so if you're up there doing it all for them, they go, wow, what a great facilitator. But if you're a great facilitator, they go, wow, I learned so much. I'm better equipped.
Yep.
And so it's, yes, there's genius in the room, but it's also, what's the action I can take in this moment to ensure that they don't remember me, but they remember what they learned, and they've gained value from this experience.
Shout out.
And I've facilitated to help that happen.
Yeah, Claude Silver pushed it really well. She said, the smart is the room. And that, I was like, yes, that thing.
So well said.
We have to go, because we have to go do some other stuff, and we're going to do this thing, but we'll intersperse a whole bunch of clips from tonight.
Can I take the pillow with me? Because clearly it is
very
my
nice.
friend. I don't
This
know
is
what
your
happened
service
to you
animal
guys.
pillow? Yeah, it's a service pillow. Yeah.
But thanks for watching, for whatever you watched, and please go buy the book and give a shit about what you do and make a difference in the world. We're all trying to make it a better place. So
Amen.
keep fighting the good fight. Be good to each other. Bye now.